running us through the biggest Christmas party to hit the capital on Christmas Eve happening at the Good Park. I'm referring to the Situation All White Party. A big thank you to Hallmark Cafe, of course, EcoBank, Bethel Logistics, and also Oswald Construction Limited for supporting this really, really great program happening later this month. Elmint.
Oh. Mr. Duncan.
Charlie.
Mr. Duncan.
No, everything cool.
Real Duncan. Yeah.
Yesterday, Arsenal, them days, they've been dazed.
It didn't work out for them. It didn't work out for them.
It was a very painful circumstance because the last kick of the game, that can break you.
Yeah, it definitely can. Emiliano Buendia getting that goal off a scramble in the box. And it wasn't your usual Arsenal because a team that is built on defense, to concede that kind of goal, it was quite shocking. It was quite poor because normally you associate failure to clear a ball inside the box with Man United. For some strange reason, they have issues all the time. When the ball is just swung into the box, there's chaos everywhere. But Arsenal, they tend to do a very good job clearing their lines. But yesterday, it didn't happen. And yes, you can relate it to or link it directly to the absence of William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes, regular starters, centre-back pairing, who are among the best of the best in the world. And so if you miss both, not just one, if you miss both, it's definitely going to cause some issues.
I felt Hincapié and what was the other one? Mosquera. Who's also now injured.
Who's also now injured.
They did a good job against Chelsea. So
they did a very good job.
The backline has changed a lot in the last month. So do you feel like it affected their defensive shape?
Yeah, it affected them. I mean, look, no matter how good you are as a team, and Arsenal are a very good team, they have a lot of quality in depth. But once your best centre-backs are not playing.
Who did Hincapié pair yesterday with?
It was Ben White.
Centre-back.
The centre-back pair, Ben White. And Jurriën Timber was on the right and Calafiori was on the left. And so, it's still a very good unit, brilliant unit. But at the end of the day, how many times have Ben White and Hincapié played together? And so there's always going to be an issue. And on top of that, let's be honest, none of those guys is William Saliba, who is the best of the best. So there's always going to be some kind of a drop-off. And we saw that happen because it was uncharacteristic. It was very uncharacteristic.
We'll delve into other issues too, but I've seen a lot of complaints around how just maybe Odegaard and Eze don't seem to be able to play together.
Yeah. Because if you play Odegaard, and it means that you have to push Eze to the wings because you can't have him and Declan Rice and Zubimendi in the same unit at the same time. So someone has to go either to the bench or you'll be able to shift Eberechi Eze out to the wings because he's versatile. But his best position is through the middle. And so there's a bit of an issue there. But in that sense, that's where I question Arteta because if you are having an issue managing Odegaard and Eberechi Eze, then are you really ready to take that next step as a coach? Because he is tagged as the next in line to succeed Pep Guardiola at Man City. Or
who? Arteta?
Yes, Mikel Arteta. He was Pep Guardiola's assistant. One of Pep Guardiola's assistants.
I don't think Arsenal, the Man City job is a trophy job. If he wins at Arsenal, Arsenal is Charlie London. The pride of,
That's one. And there's also the Barca thing because he's a Barcelona product. He played at the Barcelona Academy. Exactly. Yeah. So if you are linked to such big jobs and you are having issues dealing with or managing this situation, then there's a big question mark. It's early days yet. I don't want to condemn him yet, but he should be able to be decisive because all the greats, they had this issue
of managing talent.
Yes, in the prime years of Man United, say Alex Ferguson, the 1999-98 season, he had as many as 4 or 5 forwards. He still managed it. At some point, he had Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Dwight York, Andy Cole, and Teddy Sheringham. All of them playing.
Give me an analysis. So
you have to be able to manage it. Your team, Chelsea, prime Mourinho, didn't he have a glut of talent all the time? But he managed it. Because at the end of the day, you are lucky enough, you are playing, how many? 4 competitions. Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Champions League, Premier League. So if you have a big squad, it aids you. So you should be able to spread it out to cover all the competitions for you to be able to play and field a very good team. So if you're having issues dealing with Odegaard and Eberechi Eze, I find it a bit odd. Like I said, it's early days yet. I hope he makes a decisive move moving forward, and I hope he does, because if he's not able to fix it,
what would a decisive move look like?
What would a decisive look like? Go with the guy who is giving you the best results of production.
Who is that?
At this point, it is Eze.
So he should bench his captain?
Yes, he should bench his captain. Because at the end of the day, the captain hasn't necessarily been available for the most part this season.
So pragmatism over style.
And on top of that, that is what Mikel Arteta has become known for. Pragmatism, pragmatic style. So honestly, I'm a bit surprised that he's having a difficult time handling this issue. Well, like I said, it's early days yet. I want to give him some bit of grace. I hope he takes a decisive move. 1
point from a possible 6. Where does this leave us now?
Yes, it leaves us now in a position where now they just lead Manchester City, who are in second place, by just 2 points. And what that means is it increases the pressure on Arsenal, and it brings about further doubts and question marks that can they hold off Chelsea? No, can they hold off Man City? Can they hold off Aston Villa? Because now Aston Villa are third, and they are just 3 points off Arsenal. So it's not just Man City that you are dealing with. You are dealing with Aston Villa. And with Aston Villa, there's always a bit of history once Unai Emery is there. Because he was the head coach of Arsenal before Arteta took over. Yeah. And he feels that he wasn't given enough time. Yeah. In his first season, he took Arsenal to the Europa League final.
Beaten by Chelsea
4-1. And the following season, he got sacked midway. So he feels a bit aggrieved. So every time he's playing against Arsenal, anything to prevent Arsenal from more or less winning the big one, which is the Premier League.
Yeah. He did it last
2 seasons. Yeah, he will do it. And so it's not just Man City that Arsenal should be thinking of. Aston Villa is another that Man City, Arsenal should be thinking
of. But this game was at the Villa Park, right?
Yeah, this game was at the Villa Park. And they'll face each other at the Emirates before the year ends, the calendar year ends.
Is it a Premier League game?
Yes, it's a Premier League game, because the Premier League would be...
We're halfway.
Yeah, we're halfway then. So...
But it's coming early for them.
Yeah, it's coming pretty early for them.
Oh, so we're already halfway at the Premier League?
No, not already halfway. We have some games to be played before we get to the halfway mark. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it. And so for me, Arteta should make a decisive move, because I'll make this point quickly before we move on to the next one. Because yesterday's game, he started with Eberechi Eze on the wings, and he played Martin Odegaard through the middle. Okay. Now, what that did was it prevented us now from getting quality production from either wings, because Bukayo Saka was doing his thing. But as soon as they came out of the halftime break, he took off Eze and he introduced Leandro Trossard. 10 minutes later, Trossard got the equalizer.
So it means that Trossard was more effective on the wings.
Yes, because
whereas Eze would have been in the middle.
But because he had to accommodate Martin Odegaard, so he had to bench Leandro Trossard. He had to bench Martinelli.
Was Odegaard removed from the game at the point?
At some point, yeah, he got removed at some point.
And who came in?
I think it was I think he played. He played throughout. Yeah, he played throughout. It was Merino who got substituted for Gyökeres. Yes.
Wow, we'll see how this goes for us now. But are there any other games you'd want to just briefly touch on?
Yeah. Chelsea drew goalless.
Semenyo had a goal
AFC
ruled off, right?
Yeah, he got the goals, but he got chopped off because Evan Nelson was in an offside position. So VAR reviewed it, and he was in an offside position, so they chopped it off. And it wasn't the best of games, to be honest. Chelsea, Bournemouth, a lot of action in midfield, but not too much quality. And even Enzo Maresca, the head coach of Chelsea, alluded to it that they lacked a lot of quality in the final third. And I think the biggest talking point from that game was that Cole Palmer returned and he played in that game. And so, after 2 months out due to injury, it was good to see him back on the pitch. And like I said, it wasn't too much of a quality game. So not too much to talk about that from that particular game. Then there were other games in there. Newcastle beating Burnley by 2-1. Liverpool. I watched
that game.
They drew 3-3 with
threw
Leeds
away
United.
A 2-goal lead.
Threw away a 2-goal lead.
And later threw away a 1-goal lead.
Yeah. Ibrahima Konate, that tackle that penalty,
it
changed everything.
Nonto, is it Gonto?
Yeah, Nonto. Yeah, well, Nonto. He's of Ivorian descent, but he plays for Italy. That penalty, yeah, it really changed everything. It really changed everything. But I must say, that third goal that Liverpool scored, that midfield combo, it was brilliant. It was classic Liverpool under Jurgen Klopp and the first season of Arne Slot.
They just
open them up. Simple passing, 1-2, quick movement, and that move by Alexis McAllister.
Yeah,
it was just brilliant. He allowed the ball to roll over. He was the one who was targeted with a pass, and he made his move to meet the ball, and rather he just let the ball roll through his legs. And Szoboszlai was just right in behind him. He just tugged it out. It was a brilliant move.
There's so much talk about Liverpool, right? Because even after the game, there's like a complete meltdown.
Yes.
From Mo Salah.
Everyone forgot about this game. Like, this game was trashed. The biggest talking point was that Mo Salah was benched again. He was an unused sub, and he granted an interview after the game.
We'll come to Mo Salah. I just want to spend a little more time on the tactical display on the night. Ekitike.
Yeah.
Will you say he's the guy and not Isak, and that Slot should just keep him as the arrowhead for the team?
Well,
because 2 quick fire goals. Like,
yeah, 2 quick fire
succession.
goals. Yeah, brilliant. I think the thing is, you have to look at the thought process that led to the signing of Ekitike and Alexander Isak. It's simple. They want to have their new version of Roberto Firmino, Mohamed Salah, and Sadio Mane. And so, in this case, Florian Wirtz was signed, Ekitike was signed, and then Alexander Isak was also signed. And so, yeah, those 3 can play together. Those 3 can play together because you always have Florian Wirtz being the one dropping a bit deeper or playing a bit deeper than with those 2 up ahead. It's workable.
As 2 forwards.
As 2 forwards, yes, it's workable because both are versatile enough to play or to coexist together. It's pretty easy. Yeah, look, if you have intelligent players who are talented, oh yeah, you can play pretty much with any formation. That's how come Ancelotti will jumble as many attacking players as possible in just one starting lineup. But for some strange reason, they'll find a way to win. Because if you have intelligent players who are talented, they will work it out. They will figure it out. And so, many saying, oh, one should be dropped for the other, I don't necessarily think so. Those 2 guys can play together. It's all about finding the right balance. And when you play those 2 together, that means that this guy, Mohamed Salah, has to be benched. And we are seeing it. We are seeing it happen in real time. And unfortunately for Mo Salah, yeah, he's pissed. And yeah, he delivered the biggest talking point
what did he say?
World of football yesterday. Well, he says he's being scapegoated, more or less, and that the team has thrown him under the bus, and that he deserves to be a starter in this team, and that he's worked hard for it, and so he doesn't understand why he's getting benched. And the past 2 games, prior to their game against Leeds United, he was benched, but he came off the bench and he played. Last night's game, he didn't play. He was an unused sub. And Slot was asked why he was an unused sub. And he said that the time that he planned to introduce Mo Salah into the game, Liverpool were leading by 2-0. And so, in that sense, you need to protect the lead. And so he rather go in for Wataru Endo, which he did. And so
I think Enzo came in a game when it was, I think, 2-1.
Yeah, around that time. Because you needed to protect your lead. You needed to protect your lead. And so, yeah, that was his explanation. Unfortunately, Mo Salah wasn't having it. Like, he wasn't having it. I mean, the guy doesn't talk much, but when he talks, it is a big deal. And what the interview ran for like almost 6-7 minutes. And
he was bringing in Harry Kane and Jamie Carragher and everybody.
He was blasting everybody. He was delivering fire to everybody.
What did he say about Carragher? Do you remember?
Like that he will mention his name in his analysis, and that he always wants Mo Salah to come and speak, and that he should step up. He doesn't want a situation where they will lose a game or drop points, and it is Curtis Jones who's rather doing the post-game interviews. That's Jamie Carragher's problem. That he wants Mo Salah to step up. Because you are one of the big leaders in the team. And we've seen Virgil van Dijk do post-game interviews, have clashes with Wayne Rooney over his comments on his podcast. But you don't hear anything about Mo Salah. Mo Salah doesn't say anything. And so that was one of...
Because when the team wins, Salah takes the credit.
Yeah. And
so when you lose, you should take the fall as well.
Yes. And he gets interviewed when they win. After a game, we've seen post-game interviews where Mo Salah is interviewed and all. But since they are slide, we haven't seen Mo Salah. And so that was one of Jeremy Carragher's gripes with him. That, yes, you are not performing well. Yeah. But at the same time, you are the leader. And so if we go in there and we get a bad result, you should be able to come out and take the fall. And
I read that he criticized the way the media handles his performances because he was like, if Kane goes a 10-game drought, Harry Kane, when he was in Tottenham, goes a 10-game drought, he doesn't get spoken of as much as the way they speak about him, Salah, right? Do you think it was a fair comparison?
I don't think so, because look, one of the things that have emerged when it comes to the EPL coverage, and was that Mo Salah was one of those guys that you couldn't criticize too much. He's one of those guys that you can't criticize too much.
Because he was quite efficient.
Yeah, because he was quite efficient. And so for Mo Salah to say that, I thought that it was a bit of a stretch, because you've been more or less protected, if I can put it that way, to an extent, to a large extent. Remember, Sadio Mane will be playing so well, and he'll be taking off. But Mo Salah will be playing poorly, and he will still be kept on. And it was one of the reasons why Sadio Mane and Mo Salah fell out, and they didn't have a proper top-level relationship. And it was one of the reasons why Sadio Mane left, because no matter what he did, it was Salah taking the credit. So for Salah to make that comment, I think that was a bit of a stretch, because he has been protected by the media. He has been protected by the media in past years, because there were so many instances where Mo Salah wasn't dropping deep to help out defensively. Mo Salah was giving the ball away. Mo Salah wasn't playing well, but he'll get a goal, and it will more or less gloss over all the poor performance that he's delivered. And so in that sense, I think Mo Salah, that was a bit of a stretch. Look, he has been protected, given a fair share or fair amount of protection by the media. So that bit, I don't agree with him. So for me, I think he was a bit off on that tangent. And so, I don't agree with him.
Wow. Incredible fallout.
But look, I think this thing boils down to last 2 seasons. And I remember making this point, and a lot of people came at me for it, that Liverpool should move on from Mo Salah, because at that time, the Saudi Arabia clubs were ready to pay as much as 100 million pounds.
2 seasons ago, look at his performance last season.
Yes.
On the face of it, you couldn't have said that it would have been a prudent decision should Salah have left Liverpool last season. Yeah. He was literally their man.
Yeah. True. But at the end of the day, that was the reason why the American owners of Liverpool were hesitant to give him the new contract extension, because they are American sports owners. They own sports franchises in the American sports leagues. And those guys, the operation system is simple. Move a player or an athlete a year before he goes bad. That has always been their operating system. And we're seeing it. You could tell that the fall was coming, or the drop-off was coming, when it comes to Virgil van Dijk and Mo Salah. And that's why those two guys, they were hesitant to give them those improved contracts, £400,000 a week contract, because they could see that these guys are not who they used to be. Do we really want to commit this amount of money to them? That's why they were very hesitant. And it took such a long time before they eventually gave them that kind of contract. And so you could tell that they knew it was coming. But because everyone was on their neck, you can't treat a living legend like Mo Salah like that. You can't do this to Virgil van Dijk. You can't do that. And so they bowed to the pressure, and they gave them those contracts. And in the end, now they have a huge albatross around their neck. If you play Mo Salah, your team is deficient defensively. And offensively, he's not scoring as he used to. So what's the point? If you're not giving me defensive solidity, and you're not giving me efficiency in front of goal, then you are a weakness. Look at Virgil van Dijk. He's also doing the same. So what's the point? And right now, they are stuck. And for me, they should move on from him as soon as they can. They should move on, because he still has incredible value. A Saudi team or one of those teams in the Gulf region is likely to sign him because he's an icon. And so, yeah, he still has a tremendous value. And Liverpool can recoup some solid money. Yeah, a pull factor. Liverpool can recoup some serious money from a potential sale. So, yeah, I think it will work out for the betterment of the team because at this point, yeah, things are very, very rough.
So he doesn't come back into this team?
Yeah, I don't see a future with him in the team because I don't see Liverpool sacking Arne Slot now. And they want to grow with him for a while. Mo Salah is not the future of Liverpool. Right now, their future of Liverpool is hinged on this guy, Ekitike, and Florian Wirtz, and Ryan Gravenberch. Those are the future, those guys. And they are likely to sign another young defender in January. So those guys are the ones that they are looking out for. Leone, the defender they signed from Italy, he came in and unfortunately suffered an ACL injury. Those are the guys that they are looking to, Jeremy Frimpong and co. Not Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk. So if he's pulling out this kind of tantrum, yeah, they'll move on from him.
What's the other big story in the world of sports?
The world of sports, it doesn't get any bigger than Lionel Messi. Yeah, Lionel Messi has won the MLS Cup. He's won the MLS Cup. And he's further dampened all those doubts regarding his claim to greatness, his claim as the greatest player of all time. Because back in the day, the knock on Messi was that, all that he's achieved, he did it at Barcelona. And that he can't achieve it outside Barcelona. Unlike his contemporary, that is Cristiano Ronaldo. Because Ronaldo did it at Man United, he went to Real Madrid, he won league titles there. He went to Italy, he won league titles there. And Messi hasn't been able to do it up until now. Now, Messi has won in Spain. He went to PSG in France, he won there.
What did he do in the league?
He won the league.
But he didn't win Champions League.
He didn't win the Champions League, but he won the league.
He has to win Champions League.
But he won the league.
You know, but Dembele won the Champions League for them.
PSG, yeah, but recently.
Even if it was yesterday, I was winning for them.
Yeah, he's won it for them, but Messi didn't win it. But at the end of the day, he won the league title.
There was Champions League. Anybody can talk and win.
He won the league title and he won, I believe, the French Cup, the Coupe de France. And now he's gone to the MLS and he's won Inter Miami's first ever. Their first ever MLS Cup. Prior to Messi going to Inter Miami.
This is a cup competition, not a league.
This is a league.
This is a league.
This is a league. MLS cup title. Yes, that's the league. Prior to Messi going to Inter Miami, they hadn't even been to the Eastern Conference Finals. You know they split it into two different conferences. And he got them to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. They beat New York City FC, which is also an affiliate of Manchester City, one of their sub teams. They beat them in the final, 5-1. And they qualified to the MLS Cup final. And they beat Vancouver Whitecaps. That's where Thomas Müller plays now, formerly of Bayern Munich. That's where he plays now, Vancouver Whitecaps.
Yeah, I know Vancouver. I know Vancouver Whitecaps.
I'm Canadian right now. Okay,
I'm one of their supporters actually.
Exactly. So that's where Thomas Müller plays now. Yeah. They beat Vancouver Whitecaps by 3-1 in the final. And yes, got Messi to win the MLS Cup. And he got 2 assists in that game. And what that means is that he's built on his assist numbers. Now, he has the most assists of all time in football. He had 405 assists ahead of Ferenc Puskás, who had 404.
Oh, so he has...
he has improved on his counts.
Numbers.
Yeah, on his numbers. So that was in the lead up to this final. And last night, he got 2 more assists. So he's now on 407 assists in his career.
What's Ronaldo on?
Ronaldo is around 380, 370.
But to be fair, Ronaldo is also winning. I know when Messi wins, it brings back the whole Ronaldo.
Yeah, but Ronaldo hasn't won in Saudi Arabia, so he hasn't won anything in Saudi Arabia.
I saw some cup sometime.
World Cup. He wasn't in a better cup. He hasn't won anything in Saudi Arabia for Al Nassr.
Ronaldo wins. It's not a better cup.
It's not a better cup. He hasn't won anything for Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia. No, he hasn't won anything. So yeah, for me, Messi, the greatest of all time. Even without he winning the World Cup and the MLS Cup, all these ones, for me, he was the greatest. He was the greatest. But now that he's won it, it silenced the doubters. And so it was a good run for Messi. It was a good run for Inter Miami. David Beckham, everything that he touches turns to gold.
Anything to look out for today?
Yeah, anything to look out for today. Not too many big games out there. I mean, the biggest talking point is still what the ramifications of Mo Salah's rants against Liverpool. And yeah, but we have to still talk about the World Cup. The World Cup is still big, I must say. The World Cup is still big. Yes, the schedule has been released. Ghana, where we'll be playing our games, has also been released. So our first game against Panama, we'll be playing it in Toronto, in Canada. Our second game against England, we'll be played in Boston. And our last game against Croatia, we'll be played in Philadelphia. So we won't play any group games in Mexico. Our group games will be played in Canada and in the United States of America.
It's definitely going to be an expensive World Cup to cover.
Oh, yeah, because you'll be traveling across 3 countries, it'll be all over the place. And so, yeah, it will be very expensive. But, yeah, that's the lowdown on the Black Stars. And
so first game against Panama.
Yeah.
Second game against England.
England, yeah. So first game is against Panama is on June 17. Second game against England is on June 23. And the final game against Croatia is on June 27. So mark it on your calendar.
So only one game in Canada, 2 in the US.
Two in the US. No group stage game in Mexico. So maybe if we qualify beyond the group stage, then that's when there's a potential to be moved over to one of the Mexican cities to play a game there.
Thank you so much for your time.
Welcome.
Mint.
Oh, Mr. Duncan.
Oh, always a pleasure having you. And guys, that's all time will allow us for today's edition of Sunday Breakfast. It was an absolute pleasure coming your way this week. And thank you so much for doing the watching. Catch you same time next week. Bye-bye and be good.